Good morning, everyone. A warm welcome to those who joined us for our webinar, AI Suite Apache Academy to keep your customer service ahead. This is Matthias speaking. I'm going to be your moderator for today's session. I'm really excited to have you all here. Today, we'll take a closer look at what's behind the Cloud's brand new AI Suite solution. And I think we are in for a treat as you're getting a first-hand experience. We'll walk you through our demo so you can discover some of the powerful features of the platform and some of the functionalities that it has to offer. But without further ado, and also because I don't want to make any spoilers, let me go ahead. It's my pleasure to introduce you to our fantastic speakers, John Craven, UK Sales Manager, and Federico Rondina, Customer Success Manager. Gentlemen, the stage is all yours. John, you're mute.
Hopefully that's a little better. Does that work better now? Perfect. That, ladies and gentlemen, is exactly why we have the quality host and moderator that is Matteo. He's looking after everything behind the scenes here. By all means, as thoughts crop into your head, if there's any questions, comments, feedback, you guys are more than welcome to add those into the private chat box there. Matteo will see those and then bring those into the conversation here so that we're answering all of your questions and comments. Thought it'd be really good to introduce ourselves individually whilst we're on the call, the webinar this morning. My name's John Craven. I've been working for bCloud now for over 3 years, and I have just about 25 years of experience in the communications and contact center industry. I'm certainly starting to feel all those years now. I look after our customers in regards to understanding their needs, requirements, guiding them through the commercial and onboarding process, and then looking after them as bCloud customers. Probably the more important person in the room though is Federico. Federico, I'll let you introduce yourself.
Thanks, John. Good morning. Buongiorno, everyone. My name is Federico Rondina. I've worked at bCloud for over 10 years now, more or less. And my job as a customer success manager is to ensure that our customers receive the functionality and benefits that they need, basically to help their business deliver against the challenges and the issues in business today.
Perfect. Thanks, Federico. And as mentioned, Matteo's in the background as our host and moderator. So again, if there's anything that you need, feel free to drop it in the chat. We're happy to discuss through on here for you. We thought it would be really beneficial just to give a very, very quick snapshot about who and what bCloud are to put the whole AI conversation into the right frame. bCloud as an organization are a global business. Our headquarters are in the glamour capital of the world, Bournemouth, on the south coast of the UK. I'm officially based in Nottingham, and we cover the sales, development, tech delivery, support delivery of the bCloud solution into the UK and America, Australasia, the English-speaking side of the world. Part of the team, the European team, which is obviously in focus in this conversation, is our regional office in North Milan, in Serenio. And the team there deliver sales, support, tech, and development out of the Italian office as well for our customers. In terms of what our customers actually look like, we now have customers in over 24 countries across the globe. So we now have customers in 5 continents. And by definition, our platform's now used in 14 languages across the world. And probably the most challenging aspect is the fact that we cover 23 different time zones. So we have teams across the world providing around the clock, follow the sun support. In terms of technically what that looks like, we have 4 technical platforms that service our customers around the world. In Europe, we use AWS Frankfurt. The Americas, we are in San Francisco. Then on the eastern side of the globe, we're in Singapore and Sydney, looking after our customers there. Why do we have customers in those areas? Our main solution is Be in Contact. We provide contact center solutions to customers all over the world, as mentioned. Now, why that's so popular? It's an easy to use agent-led platform that integrates directly into your CRM, whether that is using a market-leading solution, the likes of Salesforce, Dynamics, Zoho, all of those main names that you know already, we have full integrations with. But quite a lot of our customers also use us to integrate into their own in-house custom-built CRMs, as we have a huge API library, custom library that we're able to connect with people's platforms and deliver that integration straight from the get-go. What channels people use on our platforms? As you would expect within a contact center platform, we deliver voice, email, web chat, and messaging. All of those things like SMS, WhatsApp, and Viber, and WeChat, all those weird and wonderful social media apps, Telegram, Twitter, etc., are all in our platform here. So the reason why we wanted to show you what we do today is that more and more customers are looking to get the most out of technology available, and we have an AI suite within our platform. At the start of 2026, we released our AI Suite 2.0, the upgraded, enhanced version. Never really stops, always being enhanced. So we thought it'd be great to show you guys what that looked like. Where that actually sits within the whole timeline of changes, almost the humanity changes. And the reason why I wanted to mention this is that artificial intelligence is being seen as one of those huge human race developing, enhancing solutions. All the way back, some of these timelines here, the early 1700s, where the Industrial Revolution began. And my claim to fame that I live about a 15-20 minute drive away from where almost that Industrial Revolution began, in the Derwent Valley. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Then all the way through, all these really key things on screen here, whether it be the car or the aeroplane. And that actually, and I wanted to take a bit of a straw poll here, as you guys are looking at the screen here. Would love to understand which of these things that you think has been the biggest impact on humanity. So yeah, pop a quick comment in the chat. Matteo will feed some of those back in a moment. So whilst you're typing, the one thing that I think that I'm disappointed by is the fact that Nottingham Forest being founded isn't on this list, and that's quite important to me. But yeah, you can see how as modern technology has come through, things like the plane, and then the computing power of the transistor, the network PCs, and the beginning of the internet has led right into that artificial intelligence sort of birth in the sort of early 2020s. Matteo, any comments?
I see some comments. I see Paul saying electricity, some also. We've got Samantha saying light bulb. Light bulb was very interesting. But most interestingly, Chris says artificial intelligence. Just there we go. At the top, so.
You know, it's a good job Chris is here. Now, do you know, I agree with all of them, and very much as I look out the window to see rainy skies in the UK, I quite like the aeroplane. Being able to get away from this grey lump of rock to go on holiday is a pretty good one. So thank you for your feedback. As Chris mentioned, he thinks AI is going to be one of the biggest developments within that timeline, and we thought we'd prop a couple of statistics on screen, sort of, okay, how's that going to impact things by the year 2030? I'm looking at some stats that some research think tanks have come out with. 60% more automation is quite a stat. When I saw that really leapt out at me to say, okay, by 2030 there's going to be 60% more automation, and I see that as a good thing and a bad thing, realistically. But when we look into this conversation further today, it's all about, okay, how can we get rid of or automate the mundane tasks that don't need people's individual attention? And how do we then focus on the higher value work that can be delivered by people and gain their attention? So that's where I think that's really important. And taking that higher value focus, stats show that by 2030, $2.6 trillion will be added to the global economy. Sounds a huge number. That's actually an improvement of 0.5%, 0.5% of global GDP. But again, the whole process here is being able to assist your teams and your businesses in driving to higher revenue streams, more valuable areas of business to deliver better customer service, better experience, and support to your customers, and as such building better relationships.
In the past, we had a few questions related to this argument whilst doing other webinars. More specifically, we had the questions related to how these numbers are very, very compelling. But in your experience, how much is this potential actually being realized today?
Yeah, it's a good point. And thank you for raising one of the questions from one of our previous webinars that we've done over the last couple of weeks. In terms of what we're seeing of this being realized, what's actually happening right now, 2026, is I think AI solutions and functionality have really been tangible and deliverable probably since midway through last year. I think lots of platforms and solutions were still maturing and becoming ready to be enterprise facing, in other words, to be utilized by a company. So I actually think we're starting to see the impact of that now. And as we come up to kind of budgets and revenue reporting of kind of the standard April business results season, I think we're going to see a lot of comments within leading organizations' market discussions around how they've taken AI, how they've delivered it into their business, and the deliverables that's done. Now, that might be improvements in CSAT scores. It might be improvements in staff retention, staff knowledge, revenue gains, profit gains. So I think we're starting to see that now, because that's the fruit that's born from the changes that have been made in 2025. Matteo, that was a question that we've had on previous run-throughs of this webinar in other locations. Any other comments on the chat that would be good to touch base on now? I didn't hear anything there, so hopefully that means that we've covered everything.
Sorry, I wasn't being on mute. Not in the moment. We've covered everything. Yes. Sorry.
No worries. Let's pop on to the next slide, because there's a number of different sides to this that I wanted to discuss before getting into the live demo of the platform. Is to quickly look at where we feel, and working with our customers, where AI is currently delivering best within the industry. Two sides of the coins here. The first is for your business, where it's delivering best for businesses. We see, and the feedback that we're getting from our customers is repetitive request handling. So in other words, those requests that come in, whether it be via voice, web chat, SMS, etc., but those repetitive requests that come in, AI does really, really good at having that knowledge base and serving that back to the customer. Instant suggestions, again, whether that be externally facing or internally facing. The routing of communications is a huge one here. So making sure the right communications are in the right place in your business to be able to deliver a faster, better outcome for everyone. And the 24/7 consistent performance, I like this one because more and more we're seeing organizations not sleeping. In other words, people want 24/7 service and support and answers. And this is one way to really help drive that within the industry. For your customers, what this looks like for the customers of your business, your clients, is they want immediate responses. We are in the click on a basket on Amazon and people want things delivered within the next hour or two, or you've got Deliveroo or Just Eat, that food is turning up on your doorstep within 15 minutes. We're in that very, very customer demanding world now where people want instant responses and instant resolution. So we see AI as really helping drive those two things here. Wait time reduction, that's a good one. Nobody wants to be in a queue anymore, and this helps make sure that any queues that you do have in your business are being managed responsibly, and where needed, things can be quickly routed to a human, to a real person, to be able to answer queries where perhaps a knowledge base doesn't contain that straight from the get-go, or things are a bit more complex. Any thoughts, any questions on
there's a question on this from the chat. Chris is asking, out of these areas, where do you typically see the quickest impact when organizations start to adopting AI?
Definitely when people first route or implement AI and automation into their business, is straight away is that immediate response, that immediate gratification of, we're listening, Mr. Customer. So potentially that might be a chat bot on a web chat form, being able to ask questions and gain an understanding of the issue, so people think they're immediately talking to that business. So that is definitely the most obvious one that people see straight away. Then things like the repetitive request handling, where there's information already in the business that's really easy to serve back to a customer. AI and automation can do that very quickly without an agent having to go and find it or ensure that that's the right information to start. So those are probably the most obvious ones that probably leap off the page as immediate gains. Some of those others come a little later. If that answers the question, I will pop on to the other side. We've spoken a second ago about the what things are best. What's the benefits? I think a lot of people don't touch on sometimes the concerns people have about AI. And when we work with our customers, it's a case of, okay, let's talk about the benefits. Now let's talk about the things that we need to keep our eye on to make sure it runs smoothly. So AI concerns on the business side. Unclear ROI. In other words, an organization say, okay, well, what are we going to get back from this? Almost like we said a moment ago about how is this realized. The cost and spend on implementing a solution, some companies need assistance in seeing what that's going to deliver. And we absolutely make sure we go through that process when we work with them. Risks and liabilities, big one with customers nowadays, is making sure that anything that they do implement doesn't open them up to any liabilities. You hear horror stories within the wider AI world of hallucinations and AI saying the wrong thing to the wrong people. Absolutely massive piece of work that we do here in terms of training AI models and making sure the scope of anything that's implemented is appropriate. And then the complexity to implement. People see AI as something that's hugely beneficial and a huge wide scope, but people see the complexity in that, and that complexity often creates inertia. That's one of the reasons why people work with us, because we have the expertise of working with our customers around the world. We have that experience to make sure we can roll things out in a phased approach, in line with scope. Really important.
John,
yes.
When these concerns came up in the past, it often felt it was less about technology itself and more about how it is how it fits into existing operation, particularly around the ownership and the integration part. And that's usually where things become the hardest to resolve, isn't it?
It is, and actually that's why we've pulled a couple of different people onto the webinar today, just to show, for instance, my role within bCloud, and my team's role is to discuss with clients. We prefer to work on a consultative basis rather than a sales basis. So it's all about understanding what a customer is looking to achieve with any solutions, or what problems they have, and we can use our experience to scope our solution to work on and with those problems and resolve them. But actually, that's why Federico's here. It's Federico's role and his team's role within the customer success teams and the support teams, that they take the scope of a project and then work hand in hand with the technical teams at a customer, if they have one, or we take the reins and ensure that we implement any solution exactly in line as mentioned before. Phased approach, very much a case of scopes of work that have core tangible deliverables, so we can tick those boxes as we go through. The agent side, I'll quickly rattle through this because I appreciate there's a time limit on the webinar this morning, and the good stuff is going to come from Federico. The agents concerns from an AI tool of, actually the biggest one, let's call it what it is. Employees within the company are nervous that any AI solution is there to replace them. And that's something that very much as a deliverable from bCloud is to show those team members that actually we're there to help them and enhance what they do, not replace them. Can I trust the output? It's your agents that are going to be using the information generated here in line with their day-to-day role, and we'll show you in a second exactly how they can view the material, the output from AI tools, and use, edit, deliver that in line with their role. And the obvious, I think you said there about adoption, Matteo, was I don't know how to use it. AI is a complicated beast. How does it actually fit in day to day with my role? One of the things that we have within bCloud across the globe is a full training team. We can be on site, we can deliver knowledge-based documentation, we can train the trainer, we can do online training, something that's really, really important as an organization. So let's get to the good stuff. Our Be in Contact AI suite. What we're going to show you within this demo is an overview of the transcription tools that are in our platform, working on a number of different channels. So transcription within the voice, messaging, etc. The world's there. Summarization, understanding what's happened within an interaction and then feeding that back. And then Teleprompter and AI Agent Assist. This is where we're helping your team members in their role within interactions and delivering to customers. Other than that, I'm going to zip my mouth. You've heard enough from me already. I'm going to hand over to Federico, who's going to show you the platform working here. So I'm going to click stop sharing of the slide deck and hand over to Federico. All yours.
Thank you, John. Let me share my screen. Okay, so as John was saying, I'm going to show you 3 different videos with 3 different business cases, showing you how the AI suite works live, mainly with 3 different capabilities: transcription, summarization, and agent assist suggestion in real time, I mean. At the end of each video, we have some time, let's say, for question and answer. So let's start with the first one. In this first scenario, we can observe a voice interaction between, let's say, dissatisfied customer that is reporting a product issue, okay? And the agent try to provide a potential solution to this issue. As you can see, the agent is logged in the Be in Contact agent desktop, and he has several tools at his disposal. For example, he can have an agent scripting that is a sort of guide to gather information and structure information from the customer. An internal CRM, in this example, we are using our BeTracker, our internal CRM. Of course, if the customer has his own application, CRM, ERP, trouble ticketing, and so on, we can integrate in the main iframe this third-party application. And as you can see on the left, the most important feature, the Be in Contact AI suite, that in this context is listening in real time. So the AI engine is in active listening, and it is able to transcribe the conversation, is able to understand the content, okay, of the interaction, and it is also able, at the end of the conversation, we will see in a minute, to provide summaries. Here, the business case is, let's say, quite simple. So the customer reports a specific malfunction of a product. The agent in charge of handling this interaction suggests workaround or recovery procedure using the agent scripting and or the knowledge base. The customer will request a product return via a pickup and delivery service, and the agent records the current address for the pickup and will update the new address for the reshipping of the fault product. Then he will update also the email address for the billing to send the new bill to the customer. As you can see, even without the audio, it is possible to understand the real-time capabilities of the AI transcription. Basically, naturally unstructured, relaxed conversation is instantly converted into a usable text. Of course, there are some key benefits on this. First of all, it eliminates the need for manual note-taking at the end of the conversation, for example. Or let me think about the re-listening, of the recording after the interaction management. And this, of course, helps to save time and to reduce errors, of course. But more than this, it is important also to see that the AI is able to, let's say, understand the conversation, to identify the customer intent, is able to extract relevant data from this speech, and is able also to, let's say, make a context of the request. This means that even if the customer use, let's say, some long periods or a lot of words to explain or to complain about the issue, the AI doesn't transcribe everything, let's say, word by word, but is able to understand and to provide to the agent the context, the entire context, the full context of the speech. So the goal is not to simply, let's say, transcribe everything, but is to provide the full context. Another important feature, as you can see on the left, is that at the end of the conversation, if the AI is well trained, let's say, he is able also to provide a summary, of the entire conversation between the customer and the agent. You can see it on the left, on the bottom left of the page. As you can see, the very important topic is that, of course, the AI is multi-language, Even if, in this scenario, the conversation was in a specific language, English, in this use case, the AI is able to provide a summary in different languages. For example, in this context, in Italian, Of course, the summary is customizable. We provided the reason for the contact, the outcome, and the next step, as per send an email to the customer. And this summary is always available for processing after the interaction management.
Perfect, thanks, Federico. Matteo, as we're going through these demos, we perhaps may have had questions from attendees. Was anything raised in the chat regarding the summarization and transcription side there?
Yeah. See, there's actually one question from Nick, which is asking, what about accents and background noises?
Accent, yeah, and so being from the East Midlands, probably our accent isn't that strong. But yeah, we very much are understanding of Newcastle all the way down to Cornwall and everything in between. And actually, I've just completely forgotten about Scotland. That sounds offensive. But no, our platform has been developed using best practice LLMs and speech recognitions. As you saw Federico show a second ago, not only does it deal with accents, it deals with languages as well. So it's a tried and tested platform that can and does look at accents and how it's used. But actually, the bit I really like is the fact that it doesn't necessarily verbatim transcribe. It brings the context to the call. So things like ums and ahs aren't there. It's the pure context.
Thank you, John.
No,
I think if we can start with the second scenario.
Yes, thank you, Mattia. Let me start the second video. In this second scenario, we move to a digital channel. Okay, in this specific use case, a web chat, a live web chat between a customer and, of course, the agent that is logged in the same Being Contact agent desktop. As you can see, the customer perspective on the blue widget, okay, on the right, the customer is asking some question to the agent, and as you can see, the AI suite here provides real-time assistance. As you can see on the left, there are some tab with the name suggestion. This is the AI that analyze customer request and suggest to the agent relevant responses. These suggestions are dynamic and based on the customer question and the company knowledge base, of course. The chat suggestion can either be used directly, such as copy and paste with the use button you can see on the right of each suggestion phrase, and or can be such an input, okay, to the agent if some intent is triggered by the platform. So from a technical point of view, the AI engine is able to combine natural language understanding and processing, of course, is able to retrieve information, okay, and to generate some content to propose it to the agent. As you can see, there are some phrases from the AI that can be copy and pasted, okay? But there are also some, let's say, input. So in the last example, you can see that the AI is reminding to the agent to ask for a new address, update the address in the script, and update also the email in the CRM. So which is the result? The result is a significant reduction of the average response time, of course, and an overall improvement of the service quality because answers are well structured. It is also interesting to see how AI is able to adapt live because each new customer message updates the entire context, okay? And so the suggestion presented is always updated by the AI engine. This creates as an output a fluid, let's say, interaction in which the operator is fully and continuously supported by the AI, step by step, according always to the entire context of the conversation. It's also important to note that the model here is, as we say, human in the loop. What does it mean? It means that the AI suggests always, but is the agent that makes the final decision. And this, for sure, ensure control, compliances, and quality. So the human is in the center, okay? The AI is something that helps him during his daily operation. As you can see on the left, also in this case, at the end of the interaction, an AI summary is automatically popped up, let's say, to the agent with three main purposes. The first one is to provide an overview, okay, of the reason of the contact, so why the customer reached the customer service. The outcome, so basically what the agent communicated, okay, and said to the customer. And the third, in the third section, okay, the AI is able to understand also which are the next steps agreed with the customer. All these features combined for sure help to reduce errors on operator side, I mean, and the transcript presence helped the agent on the overall topics, as well as reducing after call work time, because after each interaction, usually an agent has to take some notes to copy and pass information inside third-party application, losing and wasting his time, okay? Thanks to this automatic note-taking, this information can be passed directly and automatically to third-party application, like CRM, trouble ticketing, ERP, and so on, and of course saved inside the platform in the bit tracker section and area. So the agent is able to use, copy and paste this AI summary directly in the description field, okay, as he's doing right now. He can select the disposition to make some analysis post-production, for example, and after clicking on the complete button, he is able to become ready again to manage another customer interaction.
Gentlemen, I don't see any question from the chat right now, so if it's okay for you, I would go directly to the third scenario. That's okay.
Let me start the third video. So in this third scenario, we switch to a typical asynchronous, but still widely used, let me say, channel, that is the email one, okay? This showcase starts with the customer that is writing an email to the customer service, complaining about the product, a barbecue in this context. The email is routed to the agent that is logged in the same agent desktop used before for the voice and the digital channel, okay? And as you can see, when he clicks on the reply button, he has in front of him, okay, the original content of the email sent by the customer. And in the second tab, as you can see, we have the draft of the answer prepared by the AI. So the AI is able to read, to understand, and to prepare a draft to be proposed to the agent, and the agent can easily copy and paste this draft. Of course, as I told you before, this is a suggestion. So the AI is able to understand the content, is able to prepare a draft, but of course, the agent is in the center, in the middle, okay, of the interaction management. So he can customize, of course, the content of the email. It can add attachment, signature, and so on. But what is very important is that, as you can see, responses are complete, ready for use, okay, and is particularly useful when you have to face and handle high volumes of messages, because these enable you faster replies to the customers. As you can see, the AI not only prepare a draft, okay, but is able in real time to prepare a summarization, okay, so a summary and the reason for the contact that can be used also in this case to update third-party application like CRM, like ERP. When the interaction is finished, the agent flag the complete button in order to become ready again, and all this information are automatically saved inside the system in the platform. So if we take a look to all these three examples shown today, the voice, the chat, and the email channel, we can see for sure a clear pattern, let's say. The AI is able to adapt itself to the context. On the voice channel, it is able to structure content in real time. On the web chat, it supports live, okay, the agent during the interaction. And on the email channel, it can, of course, accelerate response time. So the main topic is that all this feature works with the same application. That is the Being Contact Agent desktop on a single web browser tab. With this use, okay, the agent can work in a single web page, and it is not mandatory to switch browser pages or switch among third-party application and so on. Everything is inside Being Contact platform. That's why we call it AI Being Contact Suite.
Champion. And that is absolutely perfect timing as well. Professional to the end, Mr. Rondina. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Let me grab the screen share that we had before the couple of slides as we bring this to a close. As Federico's just mentioned there, we've shown each of these elements on screen: the transcription, the summarization, and the teleprompter AI agent assist. And we've actually, in showing those 4 pieces of functionality, only scratched the surface when it comes to our AI suite and the automation. Struggle with that word, don't I? The automation and the workflow enhancements that we can deliver into your teams. The transcription, what I love about it is the fact that you can see it transcribing live within the call, listening into the voice. Really, really powerful, enabling you to work a lot quicker in terms of with that output. The summarization, one of the things that we get from our customers often is the fact that there can be lots and lots of information generated from using all these tools because it's picking up on everything. So summarizing that at the end of the call is really valuable. So you can get right to the nub of an issue that maybe a customer is having and how you can resolve it. And lastly, that agent assist. Being able to give them recommendations from a knowledge base, from the platform, of how to deliver better customer service, whether it's a case of saying X or find out Y. It's not just copy paste and to say, it's giving them suggestions on how to act. I think is really, really powerful. One thing that we didn't show on screen, because we would always know we're going to be tight on time, is the teleprompter. So this is actually us being able to listen into a call, understanding what's important to you as an organization, and making sure an agent's done it. So for instance, here on screen, the greeting the customer in the right way, asking certain questions. We can double check that that's happened and prompt your team members to make sure that's done. As I look at the clock, we've got a perfect couple of minutes towards the end of the call. Matteo, any questions that have been asked right here that we haven't touched on?
We have quite a few questions, but time's a tyrant, unfortunately, so we can go with just one. I see someone asking, how accurate is automatic summarization?
How accurate? That almost comes in part to the accent question that we had earlier on. In terms of how accurate is it, in the testing that we've done, it's incredibly accurate. And it's our internal testing and then our beta customers that have given us that feedback. So obviously with any AI tool, it's always about training. And again, that's what Federico's team helps with, is understanding the scope, training the AI bots and the AI engine in the background. So we've never had complaints in terms of accuracy, and we've seen from our customers that the accuracy, even though it's very, very high at the start, always improves the more that it's adopted. It's constantly learning, which is incredibly valuable. Again, talking about time, I know we're really close. So what might be more appropriate here is, ladies, gents, thanks so much for joining the webinar. If you want to know more and you'd like to speak to us maybe directly, individually, about what we've shown today and how maybe we can help your business and what our tools can do, please feel free to scan the QR code on screen here. That'll take you to I think it's my Calendly. So feel free to have a look for a slot. I've made sure my diary's free for a time after the webinar in terms of the next few days before Easter. Feel free to pick a spot. Send me a Calendly. We're happy to have a conversation. I can drag either Federico or one of his team onto the call as well, so that we can answer your questions and cover maybe any projects that you might have that we could help with. Other than that,
you will also receive the slides of the webinar. So if you need anything, if you want to just rewatch the video, you can find it on YouTube. The slides will be with you in a second. So
perfect. Thank you once again from myself, Federico, Matteo, and the team here at bCloud for joining the webinar. Really good to have you with us. Thank you for your time this morning. As said, we'll pop information to you afterwards with the slide deck, the videos. Great to have you with us.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.